Hello, Steve White's 89. It's still Friday the 13th here. I decided this year, since there's only one Friday the 13th, I'm just going to watch all the documentaries and commentaries and special features and everything and all the films. Like, I normally watch the films every year, or every Friday the 13th I watch the 12, is it 12? No, the 11 Friday the 13th films in a marathon. I normally do the first 5 on Thursday night after 12, and then I do the second 5 the next night. And I try and watch some of the documentaries and stuff and special features the next Saturday, but I normally don't do it because I have things to do and I run out of time. But this year, since it's the only Friday the 13th, and some stuff I haven't even watched, I don't think, and others I've only watched once, I said I'm just going to do them all this year. So the first thing I started with, of course, was Crystal Lake Memories. Aside from looking through the book like I do every year, I watched the documentary again, which is 6.5 hours. Now, I want to compare His Name Was Jason to Crystal Lake Memories. They are related, but this came out in, I think, 2000 and... What was that? 2000, I want to say 2009, but that's... No, it is 2009. The book came out 2005, that's what I was getting confused. And the documentary came out in 2009, and I just remember being so excited to have a Friday the 13th documentary. It came along sort of around the same time as the Halloween 25 years documentary, and I was really excited for it, like I said, just to have a documentary on DVD released officially with its own cover and special features and everything about my favourite franchise. I was very excited. I watched it. I enjoyed it. It goes for about an hour, 26 minutes. And, yeah, I guess I liked it to start off with. But then I watched Crystal Lake Memories. Now, Crystal Lake Memories was a book. Started off as a book. And then while they were doing all the interviews for that, they did His Name Was Jason. So a lot of the interviews are the same sort of information that you get in the book. And the later Crystal Lake Memories, some of the same interviews are in both. And then they did Never Sleep Again, which was a 4-hour documentary based on the Nightmare on Elm Street films, where they really spent time on all the films and really went deep into the character and spoke to all the actors and everything. And it was just this really successful documentary. So then they said, well, we've already got all this information on Friday the 13th from the book, and His Name Was Jason, let's do that. So they did that, and it ended up being 6.5 hours because, of course, there's 12 Jason movies. Or Friday the 13th and Jason movies, whereas there's only, I think, 8 Nightmare on Elm Street films. So they had a lot more to get through, a lot more inconsistency and different things with the Jason films, whereas the Freddy films were fairly consistent. So they just they ballooned out to 6 hours and 6.5 hours, but they said they didn't want to get stuck to time limits and everything. And I love it. I think it's really amazing. They spend so much time on each person, each interview, each story, each film gets its own sort of section, and they really do it justice, and you really get time to really, it's all in continuity, and you really get time to really enjoy it and really get absorbed into that world, and the world of the filmmaking, the world of the actual Jason character. And it's really great. So I watched that, and then I watched His Name Was Jason. I'm like, oh my god, this is awful. All it was just all these fans, just random fans that no one cares about, people who run websites, people who just have opinions for some reason, like they think they're warranted to have one, just talking about just stupid. Some of them are very misogynistic with how they refer to the women and that, and it's just really, I'm like, how did the two projects come out of the same people and the same interviews? Basically, they obviously went and did more interviews for His Name Crystal Lake Memories, but yeah, it's just really bizarre. So I watched that and I'm like, how did I not think this was crap the first time I saw it? I don't know, once you see a superior product, it's hard to look back at the original and see it the same way. So I really loved Crystal Lake Memories. I love the depth it went into. I love the length. There's also a commentary, so you can watch the whole thing and then you can watch the commentary of the whole thing. That sounds a bit more like His Name Was Jason, but at least they're going in a rough continuity and paying attention to the film as they're going through it. But yeah, so if you have a choice, just watch Crystal Lake Memories. The only good thing about His Name Is Jason is there's about 2 hours of interviews, which some of the same interviews made it into Crystal Lake Memories, are in the special features. So there's about an hour and 15 minutes talking to the directors, and then there's Drag from the Lake and From Script to Screen, which are 20 and 30-minute videos, just interviews with people on different subjects. And there's also a couple of specials. There's the Camp Crystal Lake Survival Guide and Jason Takes Comic Con, which are interesting as well. But they're more interesting than the documentary. The documentary is just, it's just commercial and cheap and just basic and just trying to pander to the lowest common denominator, people who can't concentrate for more than a minute, and they can't even show an interview with someone for a couple of seconds without like flipping it and overexposing it and then going back to that. Like, it's just the interviews are better than the documentary, and the Crystal Lake Memories documentary is so much better. But yeah, it's so contrasty between the two, and I don't know how I managed to watch this and think it was good the first time. I still haven't watched Never Sleep Again, because I watch the Friday the 13th films every Friday the 13th. I watch the Halloween films every Halloween, and I tend to do them traditionally. But I don't really have a time to watch Nightmare on Elm Street, so I just never get around to watching it. But I'm going to watch Never Sleep Again because I've had it for years. And I did watch the Halloween documentary a while ago. They also did a Psycho one, which was another 2-disc one. So this trend came out of this book and these documentaries by doing these big documentaries with lots of interviews and then having all the interviews as the special features, which are almost their own thing. And in this case, they're better. And I'm really glad that I think every film franchise sort of should get this treatment. And I love that the ones that I really love, like Friday the 13th and Psycho, and I want to see a Jaws one, because the first film gets all the attention, but the later films get totally ignored. But yeah, it's just really good. So yeah, Crystal Lake Memories, far superior. Watch that. Don't bother with His Name is Jason. Just watch the special features. And probably the most annoying thing about it is the setup where they have Tom Savini basically walking through this sort of basic lame sort of Camp Crystal Lake sort of horror story. And there's one girl running through the whole thing, and she's got like this knitted sweater that kind of looks like Pamela Voorhees one, but not really, and none of it looks like it's licensed. It just looks like they're just sort of copying, but not really. It just looks cheap and basic and weird, and the interviews are all, it's just a mess. Yeah, don't bother with His Name was Jason. Crystal Lake Memories is awesome. And I'm going to go slip back into my Crystal Lake Memories because I've still got all the special features from the films and a few other documentaries and videos I found over the years that I haven't watched yet. And I'm going to not stop until I've done them all.